Kyler Murray referring to the fact he's been to the playoffs once in his career, and that game did not go well. That was a Monday night disaster the Cardinals took from the Rams en route to their Super Bowl win in the 2021 season. And I remember when Kyler Murray came into the NFL, Peter King had a great point. He was writing Football Morning in America at the time, and I missed reading that on Monday mornings. He did such a great job. You don't realize how much you relied upon something until it's gone, and it's never coming back. But he made the point when Kyler Murray got drafted, this is a guy who had lost a grand total of 3 games in high school and college combined. How would he deal with the reality of the NFL, where you're going to lose 3 games in a month, especially the Cardinals? And they've been struggling. And look, this is the time of year for everybody to get infatuated by the possibilities of what can happen. Everybody's 0-0. The glass is half full. It's about selling hope to everyone, outside and inside. I don't know where the Cardinals are right now. They added Josh Sweat, which I think is a big deal. They kept Baron Browning. They re-signed James Conner during the season so he wouldn't get close to the market and somebody would come in and snatch him away. Murray's going to be healthier this year, farther removed from the torn ACL. And it doesn't take much. With 14 teams in the playoffs, it doesn't take much to have things begin to fall your way. You get a schedule that you can navigate early. You build some confidence. And the next thing you know, you got 7, 8, 9 wins as we get deeper into December, and you have a chance to make it.
Huge year. Huge year. I'd be shocked if they're not in the mix of things a little bit this year. I think this is the year. I do. They've been kind of kicking the can down the road, I think, for this moment. With some of the trades, the not spending money early on in the Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenfort regime when they first took over. I think it was all a little calculated and, hey, like, we're not going to try to do it right now. We're going to slowly build this to where we get it to a spot we want here in year 3 where we can make moves. 8-9 last year. They ended strong. Were pain in the butt to some good football teams. Definitely got that. I think you look at it, too, and you go, hey, there's some young guys that are going to make some moves this year for their football team. You expect Marvin Harrison Jr. to be better. Their first-round pick last year, Darius Robinson, he got hurt during training camp. He's a really awesome D lineman. I'd be shocked if he doesn't help them out. They had a good free agency. You look at their football team, there's not too many weak spots. They got pick 16 in the draft. You know, they really can kind of go anywhere there. I don't know if they try to bolster the O-line, but they're ready. With the current status of the NFC West, the Rams, we know, are damn good. The Seahawks are a little bit in transition as we go here, changing quarterbacks, flipping over to the Mike McDonald era there. And then there's the 49ers who, like, my head wants to explode because they're still the favorite to win the NFC West. Can they field a full football team right now? Do they have 22 guys? Like, what is everybody thinking that the 49ers are going to lead the NFC West? Like, that's insane. Why? Because they have Nick Bosa and George Kittle? I mean, what the hell is everybody thinking?
No, because stupid people bet.
I know.
That's why they're the favorites.
Stupid. They got to start listening to the show. Hey, stupid people, start watching the show. What the hell are you thinking? The 49ers to lead the West? Are you kidding me? What are you thinking? That is dumb. So obviously there's dumb people out there spending money. But, yeah, the time is now for the Cardinals. I'm not saying they're going to win the NFC West, but I would be shocked if they're not in that wild card conversation all year, and certainly wouldn't be shocked if they finagled their way into the playoffs here.
Hey, stupid people who bet, listen to the stupid people who talk about football. You might learn a thing or two. And we don't know what those odds were driven by. I don't know when the futures bets first became available. They probably made them available right after the confetti fell at the Super Bowl because, hey, step right up and give us your money. We'll gladly take your money now, especially since we won't have to pay any of these bets out for 9 months. That's the other great thing about these future bets. If I'm the business person who owns a casino, yeah, you want to give me $100 today, knowing that even if you win, I'm taking that money and I'm using it for 9 months or 10 months or 11 months before I even have to pay it out? Hell yes, I'll do futures bets. You want to bet on who's going to win the Super Bowl 5 years from now? Let's do it, baby. So I think that what might have happened is before the 49ers disintegrated this offseason, people thought,
maybe you're right.
Let's just take the 49ers.
That makes sense.
The 49ers. Let's take the 49ers. Right. And now they're like, oh, well, we would have had more fun setting our money on fire and watching it burn because the Rams are the smart choice now. And look, here's the other thing that helps the Cardinals. It helps the Seahawks. It helps the Rams, and it helps the 49ers. And we alluded to this earlier a couple of weeks ago as the Rams were making some moves. Their schedule out of the division this year, they play each other twice, as we know. They play all 4 teams of the AFC South and all 4 teams of the NFC South. The 2 weakest divisions, all due respect, collectively, the 2 weakest divisions in either conference, 8 games, almost half of the schedule this year for the teams of the NFC West is against those teams. Last year, look at what the NFC North did, fattening up on the AFC South and an NFC West that was down, right?
Right.
That helped the Lions. That
Definitely.
helped the Vikings. That helped the Packers. So the West this year, man, they're in great position to feast half of their schedule almost on teams from divisions. Now, I know, let's not overlook the Bucs. Let's not overlook the Texans. But still, there's 6 games that are winnable for each of those teams. And that's the thing that can get you into the playoff conversation. It can get you into the home field advantage throughout the playoffs conversation. That's why I think the Rams are a team that needs to be taken very seriously.
Course.
They kept Matthew Stafford. They have Devontae Adams. Kyron Williams is on the rise. Blake Corum is a guy that maybe could come in and make an impact this year. Puka Nacua is Puka Nacua. Look at that defense with Jared Verse. Are you kidding me? Jared Verse is a stud, the defensive rookie of the year. They've got the last 2 defensive rookies of the year. This is a team that is ready to make its move, and the schedule sets up for the Rams to not have to go to Philadelphia in the postseason, to not have to go to Detroit.
Right.
Not that they have a great home field advantage, but part of the home field advantage is I don't have to go play in your place, which is a house of horrors for us to win in.
That's right. And then when we're comfortable in our place, even though it might be 50-50 with the crowd, it doesn't matter. We're comfortable. We play here all the time. So there's an advantage in that, certainly. I'm with you. Totally would be on the Rams bandwagon right now if you made me bet money on the NFC West. I mean, what is more? You said it right. What's more evidence do you need that they had the team that kicked the shit out of a dynasty Super Bowl team, the Kansas City Chiefs? They had that team on the ropes. We were sitting there in the corner of the end zone going, Stafford's going to come down here and throw a touchdown. They're going to beat the damn Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be crazy. That's where we were. So, yeah, I'm with you there. But I'll say watch out for the Arizona Cardinals. They can run the football. They're one of the better running teams in the game. Like I said, Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to only be better. They got one of the best pass-catching tight ends in football in Trey McBride. Jonathan Gannon's a hell of a defensive coach. He's creative as hell. He's got a few more toys to play with this year. And I would think that they find somebody with pick 16 and pick, I think, 47 they got in the draft here to where they can find somebody to help out their football team as well. I like the path that the Cardinals are on. I believe in their coaching, and I believe in their GM. I think they got a good thing going so far here.
And, you know, the Seahawks are taking a hell of a calculated risk on both quarterback and Cooper Kupp. Look, hey, it looks great on paper, and then he suffers a high ankle sprain week 2, and he's out for 5 weeks, and we don't have the guy on the field. And that whole Sam Darnold thing, the more I think about it, and I wrote about this yesterday too, that contract, the way it's structured with that guarantee that kicks in right after the Super Bowl, he is candidate number 1 in the NFL this year to be put in bubble wrap late in the season if things aren't going well. And why is that a concern? Because look at how he played when the pressure was at its highest last year in Week 18. If he's out there looking over his shoulder, if he's nervous that I'm going to get benched because they don't want to owe me the extra $17.5 million if I have an injury that won't allow me to pass a physical by the date that the injury guarantee becomes a full guarantee, that gets in his head. He had nothing. He had no clouds. He had no distractions last year. Last year is never going to be duplicated again for Sam Darnold anywhere. This year he's going to be carrying the same kind of pressure he had when he was the 3rd overall pick in the draft. The same, he's who are they going to bench me for? That's going to happen. They still have Sam Howell, and we'll see if he can evolve past that. But we saw what happened Week 18 of last year. We're not dinging him for the wild card game, but we saw what happened Week 18 against the Lions. That the Seahawks are taking a hell of a risk that they're going to slip. And you're right. I mean, it could be Rams Cardinals at the top of the division this year with 49ers and Seahawks competing to see who stays out of the
That's what I would bet on. I mean, that's what I would bet on. Not that I'm right. Again, I don't want to tell anybody to do with their money, but if I had extra change in the couch cushions, I would be thinking along those lines. Rams, clearly the hierarchy of the division. Cardinals, I think, are the team that are coming up and watch out for. And then, yeah, you got the 49ers that are in total rebuild. It's not like rebuild on the fly. It's like there's 5 guys we can talk about, and then the rest of the team is in total disarray. So, yeah, it's a rebuild. They are literally resetting. And then you got the Seahawks are kind of like in between trying to do it on the fly like you're talking about. It'd be interesting to see what happens here in that division.
Hey, look, I got no qualms about telling people what to do with their money because we care about the audience. Make a budget. Never bet the money that you need to pay your rent, to buy food for yourself or your family who you have an obligation to greater than the obligation to yourself. And carve out, if you have a good budget, a piece of what you can afford as your entertainment dollars and use that however you see fit. And if you want to use it on gambling and view it as entertainment, and if you lose, hey, I was entertained, it made the game more fun that I was watching, that's fine. But don't expect that money that you've devoted to your entertainment budget to ever generate more money. Maybe you'll get lucky. Over the long haul, you won't, but that's how you have to think about it. You have to go into it thinking of it that way. If you think it's going to pay your bills, if you think it's going to solve your problems, if you think it's going to change your life, you're going to end up on that spiral that causes you to keep losing and losing and losing and losing until you got nothing else to lose. And I mean, we have to be real about that because that's what it is. It's not like investing in the stock market. You're not going to get rich. They want you to think you're going to get rich. You're not going to get rich. The crown isn't yours. The crown is theirs. You have to accept that. And I'm sorry if DraftKings doesn't like that, but it's true. It's true. There was an excellent item on it on Last Week Tonight, and we just need to understand what it is. Accept it for what it is. Don't think it's something that it isn't, because if you think that, you're going to end up in what my mom used to call the poorhouse. And I never knew what the poorhouse was, but I didn't want to go there because my mom always had me concerned because my dad was a gambler. He was a bookie and a gambler. She was always concerned that we were going to end up in the poorhouse. And thank God she was able to keep him in line. Because if he didn't have her and that's why I'm so passionate about this. If it wasn't for my mother, we wouldn't have had, as my mom used to say, one nickel to rub against the other. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.